This is the plaintiff, James Romano. He says he's known the defendant since he was 7 years old and thought he could trust the guy. Boy, was he wrong. He lent the defendant his car. The guy totally abused the thing, wore out the brakes, and now won't pay him. He also stole his tools, and longtime friend or not, he's suing him for $1,632.66 because enough is enough already. This is the defendant, Omar Velez. He says the brakes went out when he was driving the plaintiff's car, and the plaintiff told him not to worry about it, just to pick up the bar bill whenever they went out. That guy's no friend to him any longer because he told his pregnant girlfriend he was cheating on her, and she freaked out and almost had a miscarriage. Oh, him? No way. He's accused of unfriending a friend.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
All right, James Romano, you're suing your former friend Omar Velez for a bunch of money you say he owes you when he borrowed two things: your car, got tickets, broke the brakes, and then your tools, which he never returned.
Correct.
All right, let's talk about the car first. How long have you known each other?
Since he was young, since like 10 years, 12 years.
You've known each other for 10 or 12 years?
Yeah.
Okay, and how did you know each other?
A friend of my brother's.
Okay, so you loaned him your car?
Yeah, because he was working as a delivery boy, and he got in an accident with his car, and he needed a car for work, and I had two, so I let him borrow mine.
He tells you, I got into an accident in my car?
Well, he got in an accident with his own car, and I offered
Right,
him.
and his own car, he got into an accident. Did you ask him about the accident?
He got rear-ended because someone hit him when he stopped.
Or at least that's what he told you.
Yes.
Right, then he takes your car, and he has your car for how long?
2 to 3 months it was.
2 to 3 months? Were you
Yeah.
charging him for that or no?
No.
So then he returns your car, and,
The brakes are worn down, metal to metal.
well,
so
how old was the car?
It's a 99, but...
I mean,
Well, I mean,
know, it
I
can
fixed
vote.
it. I repair the car often myself because I'm a mechanic, so I keep it maintained.
Right.
So it wasn't destroyed when I gave it to him. The brakes were in operating condition. When I got it back, the brakes.
I mean, the brakes are in operating condition until the day when they fail. Then, like the day before, they were in operating condition, and the next day they weren't. So how would that be his fault? Did you discuss that with him?
When I got the car back, him and his father said they'd pay to repair the brakes.
Were you supposed to pay for the brakes?
I told him I'd pay for the brakes. Yo, this was like 3 or 4 years ago.
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, that's important. When was that? Was it 3 years ago or was it 4 years ago?
I believe like 2016.
Does that sound accurate?
2015.
2015. So it was
Yeah.
4 years ago.
And-
Okay. And you told him you would pay
I
him, and
told
what
him
did
I'd
he
pay for
say?
the brakes and the rotors. But like the first day I took the car, the brakes just went out. I couldn't move the car. You could hear it just squeal every time you moved it. So I told him I'd pay for the brakes and the rotors. I ended up getting a parking ticket on it. I told him if he could pay for it, and I'll give him the money when I get the money. He never paid for it. He just let it accumulate and accumulate and accumulate. And then eventually the car got towed, and then he was charging me for brakes and rotors when he never even put the brakes and rotors in the
Are
car.
you suggesting that you never drove the car?
And I'm saying I did drive the car.
How long did you drive the car for before the brakes became a problem?
Like a week.
That's it?
Yeah.
And then it just sat there?
And then it was in my company's parking lot.
And so what was the plan between the two of you once it got a ticket? He's supposed to pay it, he didn't. You wanted him to pay it, and then you'd pay him back.
The ticket was in his name, so I didn't know how to look up the ticket because it's not in my name.
Okay, but didn't you see it on the windshield when you go to work every day?
Yeah, and I gave him the ticket.
Okay, why didn't you just pay the ticket?
But I wasn't thinking that at the time.
Oh, you can't think of here's a ticket, flip it around, that's how much it costs, there's the address I got to mail to and pay it. That didn't occur to you? So according to you, you gave it to him?
Yes.
Did he give you the ticket?
No, I found out.
Because that doesn't sound right. Not that, what? What'd you say?
I found out by a letter in the mail.
You
saying
found
it
out
was
by
late.
letter in the mail. That sounds more in keeping with both of your planning skills, you know? That I can buy. All right, so now tell me, when does he get the car back?
Honestly, I don't remember how we like.
3 months later?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't remember.
What were you doing with it for those 3 months? What was it doing on your office property?
Nothing. It was just sitting there.
How did the car get back to him?
I mean, I had to move it, so I drove it
Drove it where?
back to my house, and then that's when he came and got the car.
3 months later.
Yes.
So you had the car in your possession for 3 months. You drove it for a week, You told him that you would pay for the brakes, but you feel that you don't have to. Why?
Because the car ended up getting towed.
But why would you agree to pay for the brakes? What was the reason you agreed?
I mean, I was gonna pay for it because he lent me the car, so I felt like it was only right that if it messed up.
If he loaned you the car and within a week you couldn't drive it anymore, that's not normal either. For you to say, I'll tell you what, this thing, you've had free parking storage for this thing for 3 months, courtesy of my boss, who doesn't know, and you know, and you know what else? Let me throw in a brake job. That doesn't sound like the you I've come to know. So what is your defense as to why you think that you don't have to pay that?
Because he was charging me for something that never got put on.
So according to you, he never did the brake job?
He never did the brake job.
Do you have any proof you did the brake
I
job?
can call a friend that was with me when I replaced it.
No. Do you have proof here that you did the brake job?
I did it
The
myself.
parts. You're suing for $300 and something in parts. Show me the receipts. Show me the receipts for the
I had the
parts.
original receipts, and I showed it to him when I got him a job at my job to pay me back, and then I never got to. I gave him a copy of the receipt.
Okay, where are
for the
the
part.
actual receipts?
This is from 3 years ago, so I don't have any of
Okay, well then it's also barred by the statute of limitations. Now let's talk about the ticket. You got a ticket. Is that also 3 years ago?
That's from 2015.
All right.
It's still ongoing.
Yeah. So let's put a pin in the ticket. Your answer to the ticket is what?
I asked him to pay for it, and I would give him the money when he paid for it. Because I
Okay.
didn't want it to accumulate.
Okay.
And then it never got paid, and then...
Okay, what happened to all this stuff you said in your answer to the complaint about, he said just pay the bar tab? That I guess you made that up in the complaint, so your answer, so you're not remembering it now?
During those times,
what was that
we
for?
went out every single weekend, and he was always telling me, oh, pay for this, pay for the bill, pay for this, pay for the bill, I'll buy the drinks. And eventually that's how we just came to an understanding that...
Says who? Like who
Me and-
decided that?
me-
Did he say to you, I'll tell you what, don't pay the ticket, just buy my bar tab? Or is that something that you feel is fair because you never had money?
We both got into agreement like that.
Well, then tell me about it. Did you have a discussion with him where you agreed to settle it?
Yes, we did, multiple times.
What did he say to you?
I told him, I was like, how are we gonna work it out? And then we pretty much just worked it out, just buying each other drinks.
Buying each other drinks? What did he owe you money for?
He didn't owe me money, but...
Then how is buying each other drinks working it out?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, if you get a ticket in her car and you say that, okay, the deal was you'll buy her drinks and everything will be square, and you buy her drinks, and now she says, I never agreed to that. I want her to pay for the ticket. You out of luck?
Yeah, I mean, even though I bought her some drinks, the friendship is worth more than just a couple of drinks.
Maybe it's worth more, but you're saying?
There's no proof. What kind of world do we live in? There's no proof. How do we know? You're just making stuff up.
Yeah, what's the matter with you? Going inside the courtroom.
Let's talk about the tools. Go ahead.
Oh, he borrowed tools to repair his own car, and I never received
When
them.
did he borrow the tools?
I think it was late 2017, and I still never received them back. He said he lost them, so I was messaging him. I have text message between me and him about the tools, and he's saying that he'd get them back to me, but he doesn't have the money right now. So I've just been off and on waiting. And the last time I spoke to him was about last month. He told me he'd have them for me by the end of the month, but I still have not received any of the tools.
What was it that he borrowed?
I have it's a 3/8 impact wrench and impact.
One wrench?
No, it's a 3/8 impact driver. I have a picture of the tools here, and,
Okay, let
and
me
a
see
set
the
of gear
picture.
wrenches.
Thank you.
No problem.
DeWalt 20-volt Max XR 3/8 inch compact impact wrench kit. Did you loan him a wrench or did you loan
The
him a
kit,
wrench kit?
It's 2 batteries and a charger.
Okay, is that accurate? Is that what you
Yes.
borrowed? Where is it?
They're in my house.
Why didn't you bring them?
I had court today. I'm going
Yeah,
to...
this is court. This is where you are.
Oh, I'm trying to get custody of my daughter right now, so...
What does that have to do with physically bringing something in your hand when you come here?
Because when I got out of court there, I came straight over here.
So, what does that have to do with anything?
I didn't have time to stop in my
Why
house.
didn't you bring it to court over there? You're just a busy bee, aren't you? Do you also have this? A 16-piece, 12-point flex head ratcheting combination metric wrench set?
I actually bought those when we were working together at the time in Dodge. And when I was gonna give it to him and his brother got into an argument, and then he messaged the mother of my daughter that night when she was 8 months pregnant, and was telling her that I was cheating on her the whole time with one of her friends. And then she almost went into a miscarriage, so I felt like I didn't need to pay him, to give him the tools no more because of what he did.
Were you cheating on her?
No.
Why did you tell his 8-month pregnant girlfriend that he was cheating on her?
I don't know. It's just,
Why would you, are you like, do you have connected brain cells? She's 8 months pregnant and you thought it would be a fun way to get back at him?
everyone was drinking, so I wasn't thinking at the time.
Or maybe it's time for you to grow up, do you think?
Guess so.
Yeah. So you decide to, first of all, was he cheating on her the whole time?
No comment.
No comment? So you decide you're going to rain that kind of news on her while she's 8 months pregnant? What's wrong with you?
Wasn't thinking at the time, was annoyed.
What happens to this stuff?
I still have it.
That's the one you have there.
Yes.
Do you have the one he loaned you or no?
When I asked him whether I thought I bought the correct ones, but apparently I bought the wrong ones. So
I'm ordering you to pay him for those, the $438.29. Regarding the other item, we're going to make arrangements with Officer McIntosh for you to get custody of your items, because you don't get to keep them because you're mad that he did something incredibly cruel and stupid. And you also don't get to keep something like that from the person you're doing it to if in fact you did do that. Are you together with her still?
no, that's why I'm going through a custody battle right now.
Big consequences. Reference the brakes and the ticket, all that stuff is from 2015. There's a statute of limitations, which means that the courts limit how much time you have to bring a complaint. You can't bring a 30-year complaint. You can't bring a 10-year complaint. And so different types of causes of action, different types of cases have different statute of limitations. This is a debt that you say he owes you, and it's over 4 years ago. So you're gone on that one. But regarding the tools, we're going to do what I said earlier. That's my verdict.
So the plaintiff will get the cost of the tools back, but as far as anything else, he waited too late to sue. Are you guys still friendly at all, or is that over? I mean, when was the last time you went drinking together?
A couple months ago.
It's been a while. You're still on speaking terms?
No, we still speak. We still
You do?
we just keep our distance. We live in the same neighborhood. There's no reason to have hate towards each other.
Okay. You'll give those other tools back?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. All right, good enough. Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Romano, why did you wait so long to sue? 4 years.
I was trying to be nice. I didn't want to go through the courts and make it a big problem.
But then what made you decide to sue?
Because I just got tired of waiting. It's been 4 years.
See, you waited too long.
Too long, I didn't know.
That's
yeah.
right, killed yourself.
Screwed up.
Okay, thank you very much. You must sign some documents. Harvey?
Okay, Doug, we never talk about this, but the reason you have a statute of limitations is people need to move on with their lives. And at a point, you got to tell them, look, if somebody wants to sue, you got this amount of time, and if they don't, then everybody else has a right to move on with their life. They're making money commitments, memories fade. That's the purpose of a statute of limitations.